Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hi guys, how are you all doing? If you do want to let me know how you're doing, go send me a DM on Instagram. I would love to know. But welcome back to my channel, everybody. In today's video, I thought we could talk about Christmas because it's hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard, and I feel like if you've clicked on this video, you probably find it hard too. So I thought, why not talk about it? Let's just have a chat and actually say stuff that isn't really said. Like everyone, there's always such joy and like love at Christmas, and then it's never really talked about how it's actually really hard for a lot of people. So yeah, I hope you guys do enjoy this video. If you do, please smash a big thumbs up. Please subscribe if you're new. That would be absolutely amazing. I'd love to see you stick around, and don't forget to share this video with any friends or family members that you think might find this helpful to just kind of understand a bit more how Christmas can actually be hard for quite a lot of people. Okay, so where do I even begin? I am talking from the perspective of someone who is autistic, also has anorexia, and like other mental health conditions. And I'm gonna be honest, it's hard. You know what I mean? Like Christmas is a really difficult time of the year. A lot of people say it's their favorite time of the year. For me, no, it's not. I find the social gathering part of it hard. I find the food part of it hard. I find the loss of routine hard. I find the pressure to be happy hard. The expectations to be happy hard. Having to react to opening presents and stuff like that hard. It's just, yeah, it's a lot. And when I list it like that, I'm like, yeah, there is a lot to it. So I actually asked my Instagram for you guys to send me in some things to do with Christmas that you struggle with. So I thought we could just talk through it. So first up, quite a few of you actually said about the social gathering part of Christmas. So I guess having friends, family, people coming over, celebrating with them. Yeah, it's a lot. It is, I think this sort of part is kind of a key part to Christmas, I guess, but at the same time it is a really, really, really hard part. And yeah, I think it doesn't matter how close you are to people or how much you love spending time with them, social gatherings are still going to be really hard. Like I could be in a room with like my absolute favourite people and it would still be hard because, I have a social battery, and once that's down, I have nothing like left to give. And, people who understand that, I do find it a lot easier to be around. But I guess at Christmas, it tends to be people staying over, and there's no real boundaries. There's no set time where you can decompress, time where you can spend alone, time, like there is kind of no way to escape. And it's also winter, so you can't really like go out much. Places are shut. It feels quite confined. And what I would say in terms of like advice for this is perhaps try and dedicate yourself a safe space and a safe person. So for the safe place, that could just be a room or just somewhere that you can go to where you can just spend some time alone and have some time to recharge. I think that's so important. I think we've all been there like crying in the toilets, and to kind of have that safe space where you can go to can be really reassuring. But also just that boundary, like if I go to this place, please just leave me alone in the nicest possible way. Please leave me alone. And maybe that place, if people don't really understand the whole concept of leaving someone alone, if it's young kids and stuff, perhaps somewhere where it is a place you can go, like maybe that is on a walk or something. But yeah, just that safe space. And for the safe person, I would say just that person that you can go and you can talk to if you need to. So just having that person that if things are getting hard, you can go speak to them, you can talk to them, they're not going to judge you. Now that might be a parent, a guardian, a carer, a friend, you know, a certain family member, a cousin, someone that is going to be around quite a lot of the festive period that gets it. I mean, they might not completely get it, but they might understand. And, you know, sometimes you just need someone to listen, someone to understand, so that you can feel safe and you can feel, you know, like you're, you know, people care, I guess, like when you're not feeling it, like there's someone there you can go to, and also someone who can perhaps make reasonable adjustments as well for you during the Christmas period. So, you know, for me it might be kind of talking to my mum or someone like that just about the whole food thing, you know, what food there's going to be, if we can like change certain aspects, just like, I guess communication is really important, even if you don't change anything. I know there's so many traditions at Christmas, but, you know, just knowing that, you know, someone understands, someone gets it. And if you don't have that person around you in that festive period, maybe use the Beat helplines. I know they operate for a couple of hours on Christmas Day, which is so helpful. You know, there's always someone you can contact, whether it's online or in person. So yeah, know that you're not alone. You can always send me a DM as well. Okay, next one, moving on. Quite a lot of you said food and the sensory challenges around food, and the temperature of food around Christmas time. This is something that I really relate to. I kind of eat the same meals on repeat. I don't really have new meals. I don't like experimenting with food. I don't like the different like unknown tastes and stuff. But obviously at Christmas time there's like, you know, foods that your kind of people you spend Christmas with tend to have because of this, all the traditions and stuff. I know quite a few people have roast dinners. Personally, for me, I find that really hard. But, you know, there is ways that you can adapt it and ways that you can kind of configure it, I guess, in a way that may work better. I know in terms of like roast dinners, you could definitely like have a few elements in there that are safe foods, and then, you know, there will, because you've already got the challenge of eating in front of people, which is really hard. I really struggle with that, and especially when people may comment on like your portion size or what you're eating, what you're not eating. It's hard. It's really hard. It's kind of, yeah, it's like you're kind of waiting for people to comment, and that's, you know, if you kind of eat something different to everyone else, then for me I get really scared that people are then going to comment on that, and yeah, it's hard. But then at the same time I don't feel like, you know, I can kind of do Christmas in the same way that they can. So yeah, I guess kind of like definitely having safe foods around at Christmas time, but also I guess just having like a mix, because obviously just, you know, be kind to yourself, because you've got so many challenges at Christmas already. You know, if you need to rely on safe foods more, then you need to, because there is so many challenges at Christmas time. But in no way does that mean Christmas should affect your recovery. The most important thing in terms of recovery at Christmas is making sure that you're still recovering, that you're still eating enough, that you're still, you know, getting all the nutrients and everything like that. Because I know, you know, at Christmas time you may feel like you need to rely on unhealthy coping mechanisms to cope, but I think the focus should 100% be your recovery. Make sure you're eating enough, and whether that's mainly on safe foods just for the festive period, that's okay, but as long as the quantity and like, what's it called, quality, I guess, is there, like in terms of nutrients and stuff, then, you know, that's okay. Don't put pressure on yourself to, you know, I guess what I'm saying is like anorexia won't leave you for Christmas Day, unfortunately. Like it doesn't have, you know, a Christmas leave break or whatever. So yeah, just be kind to yourself and know that you're under so much pressure, but remember, you know, your needs and your food and your everything comes like, is really, you know, it comes first. You know, so yeah. Next one, quite a lot of you put reacting to presents. And like, I'm so grateful to be given presents on Christmas Day, but I do find it hard when especially when it's a surprise and I don't necessarily like the present, to kind of react in a way that you know the other person is looking for, but not how you would instinctively react. I think quite a lot of people who are autistic are literal like thinkers, and quite, they can be, not always, but you can be quite like say it how it is kind of thing. And it's hard because you don't want to like offend people's feelings, but at the same time, like, you know, what do you do? Because how do I like act in a certain way that they're looking for when that's not how I feel? And I think what could be helpful here is try and limit the surprises. So try and talk to a family member or a friend or whoever at Christmas, and just say, look, please can you just tell me what my presents are? Because, you know, then at least you know what's coming. And for people who you like can't really ask that question, maybe ask your parents or whoever to ask them what they got you and to tell you. Now, I know that's really bad, but at the same time, at least you're prepared. You know what I mean? Or maybe make a list or something so that you kind of know what you're getting roughly. Or yeah, just be in advance and be like, look, can you just like, I don't know, give me this year if that's okay, or whatever. But yeah, I think it's really hard. Yeah, I just don't really like opening presents in front of anyone, to be honest. So maybe also try and, like, if you can, do it so that you're not opening them on your own. So like everyone opens them at the same time, then there's less pressure on you. I think that's also helpful. Next up, routine. Now, this is hard because on so many levels, like as an autistic person, I rely greatly on my routine, and at Christmas time that is broken because, you know, the whole schedule is completely different. You know, you have traditions and, you know, most people want to keep to them, and that's great, but if that's not what you do every single other day of the year, that can be quite anxiety provoking, and especially because you don't really know how the day's going to plan out. I know that, you know, when it's like a tradition, then, you know, it tends to be similar or the same every year, but at the same time it's not. It always goes different every year, and yeah, it's hard. But I think what I would say for this one is try and build a routine for Christmas Day. Incorporate things that you would normally do in your routine and do them on Christmas Day as much as possible. I mean, that might not be like going to a coffee shop or whatever because they're going to be shut. But if you go on a walk, then go on a walk, and, you know, get up at the same time, have like your meals at the same time, you know, that sort of thing. Like where possible, obviously it's hard because, you know, there's quite a few people, but just where possible, try and, you know, incorporate your usual routine, because it can allow the whole festive period to be a tiny bit less anxiety provoking. Also planning beforehand, planning during, planning all your meals if you're able to do that, you know, with like the whoever's hosting. Perhaps, you know, plan, you know, what you're going to do on that day, and just talk to people and say, is it all right? And, you know, everything like that. There's so many more things that you guys have suggested, but this is going to be the last one, and that is having to, you know, this expectation for the day to be perfect, to, you know, be happy all the time, to make it the best day of the year, stuff like that. First up, that is completely unattainable, because no day is going to be perfect. And as I said, like an eating disorder or a mental illness or whatever isn't just going to switch off for Christmas Day, because it doesn't work like that. So I think first up, try and just not put pressure on yourself. So try and just look at it as much as possible as it is 24 hours. You know, it's not, sure that there's been like this lead up to it, but in a way, like use the lead up to take pressure off the actual day. So, you know, you've got whatever, like 25 days in December leading up to Christmas. And, you know, you can do fun things on all those days if you would like to, so that you don't feel like it's all on Christmas Day. I think, you know, a lot of the festivities are actually in the lead up, so kind of use them. But if you're not into that, then that's okay. You know, like Christmas is like not necessarily enjoyable for everybody. Some people love it. Some people, it's the best time of the year. They, you know, it's their favorite thing, but for others it's not, and that's okay. I know for me, like a lot of the time I felt, you know, I've really struggled with my mental health for, you know, a lot of years now, and some Christmases I do feel, you know, really kind of like I have depression, so like I don't feel the same happiness that everyone else is radiating around me. But I think just do your best, you know what I mean? Like constantly masking, constantly faking all the time will lead to burnout. And I think, you know, Christmas, sometimes all you can do is take it at each moment as it comes, you know? If you kind of cry, that's fine, you know? You're trying your best, you got out of bed, that's enough, right? You know? Like, just getting through it's enough. You know, it doesn't have to be this perfect day, it just has to be, I guess, it can be whatever you want it to be. And you know what? People aren't going to remember the bad times about Christmas as much as they will remember the good times. You know, there might be a few things that happen, like, I don't know, the turkey gets stuck in the oven or something, I don't know. Those are funny stories that people are going to remember and tell to their kids and grandkids in like years to come. And that you're going to laugh about it. But, you know, ways that, like, when you feel sad and stuff like that, is people, when you're struggling, and maybe something goes wrong even though it hasn't actually gone wrong, I don't think really people remember that, like, compared to like all the other really fun moments perhaps that happen on Christmas Day for you. So yeah. And I think also just, you know that there's so many other people around you, you know, like Christmas and the mood of Christmas isn't just dependent on you. There's so many other people. So yeah, try not to put pressure on yourself. Don't feel like you're letting people down, because it's not true. Like, you know, you're trying your best and that is good enough. So yeah, I think I'm going to end this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, please leave me a massive thumbs up. That would be absolutely amazing. And subscribe. I would love to have you join this community. It is kind of just so, like, I feel so privileged to be here and be sharing kind of like my journey and my advice, and to just get comments and DMs to say that you guys are finding it helpful and that, you know, I am helping your recovery in some way. It honestly means like so much to me, like so much. And yeah, I just feel so privileged to kind of just be on this platform sharing my story. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you very soon. And I'm sending huge hugs, virtual hugs. I will be active on Instagram like around the Christmas period if you do want to DM me, but obviously I'm not a professional, so any kind of worries or concerns, I would go to the Beat helpline or mental health kind of helplines, or just any helplines in general, or speak to someone you trust. So yeah, see you guys very soon for a brand new video. Bye guys.